From KID-AFAN me na Justice E.M. Tijan, and this na your program Salone Discovery. Today na the 15th of September 2022, and today na Thursday. Presently we dey na the EU building where we can witness the press briefing updates where the Ministry of Information and Communication can normally get every Thursday. Well, today we dey also for can observe and also discover what will be today press update. Stay with me as we discover this together.
Update for today. The news brief for today, Thursday, the 15th of September. The Sierra Leone Association of Journalists has on Monday, the 12th of September, paid a courtesy call to the Minister of Information and Communications, Mohamed Rahman Souare, to present the new executive of the association to him. President Julius Maada Bio has on Monday signed the Public Elections Act 2022 into law. And the Commissioner General of National Revenue Authority, Dr. Samuel S. Jibao, has on Monday, the 12th of September, commissioned 2 ultra-modern scanners at the Customs Operation Unit of the NRA at the Lunge International Airport. And lastly, the Financial Secretary, Salah Jusu, has called for effective aid coordination in low-income countries at the KID-AFAN launch in Tokyo, Japan. We'll now call on Mr. Ture to introduce our guest for today.
Colleagues of the Fourth Estate, you'll agree with me that long years back, Sierra Leone had one of the best postal services in the country. And those of you that were fortunate to come early 70s to late 80s, we saw the stamp in the country, postcards, airmail that we used to transmit, information from one country to the other. But as a result of several challenges, this area has been defunct and disabled somehow to do its normal activities, including the postal services, postal savings bank, etc. Now, with the current dispensation under the new direction, the president has used his wisdom to, capacitate this area to make it more viable, which is the post office. And we've seen the emergence of new technology now in the world. Instead of posting hard copies of letters, we used to write letters from McKinney to that of Endembu, to my girlfriend or father or uncle or brother or sister. But now, with the technology we have at hand, you don't see the need to carry out that. But yet still, the postal stamp is still used for appending it on certain documents, your housing documents, affidavits, etc. It's still in use. However, how is the transformation taking place between the analog system of writing letters or sending parcels to the current digital age? Those of us that have done the study of globalization, you see it from the takeoff stage, and now we are moving to the digital. And so how does that enhance the telecommunication sector, which is now the SAL Post? With us here, we have the Managing Director of the Sierra Leone Postal Services, Mr. Bryan Mccarter, who is going to take us through just giving us a background to this. And the most important thing, in October this year, we are going to also join other continents around the world to observe the World Postal Day. And in Sierra Leone, we want to mark that with an activity of a school competition through letter writing. So we'll now invite Mr. Carter to please come and take us through just a brief background as to where we are currently with the postal services and what we currently have at hand to promote telecommunication or with a view to the postal services in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ture, for that brief introduction. Good afternoon, members of the Fourth Estate. As Mr. Ture says, my name is Bryan Mccarter, Managing Director, Sierra Leone Postal Services. I've been in this role for 3.5 years now, going 4 years. Over those years, there has been few challenges, but nonetheless, I think we've made some strides over the years. As Mr. Toure actually said, just to give a bit of background on the postal services of Sierra Leone, some of you might not know, he's talking about 1970s, but it goes way beyond that. The Sierra Leone Postal Services was actually established way back as 1841. We joined the Universal Postal Union, which was created in 1847. Sierra Leone joined that union, Universal Postal Union, which is a UN agency. We joined that in February 1961, 29th of January 1961, I beg your pardon. And from that time to now, a lot has actually happened. In those days, up to the 70s, we relied on letter mails, literature to send correspondence across the world, to relatives, to friends, to loved ones. Well, with the emergence of technology, obviously, that has actually dissipated. So letter writing, people don't have other means of communicating now through email, WhatsApp, Facebook. So that's changed a lot. But what has actually still remained is the post. Letter writing is down, but what is actually trending now is going on the increase is parcels and small packets. So e-commerce, young people are now purchasing online. They're here in Freetown, they can order things on the internet. There's the retailer, the internet, there's a customer, they bring them together. But at the end of the day, you still need a human intervention, somebody to actually deliver that letter or parcel, last mail. So the post is still relevant in that sense. And that's where our growth is really picking up over the years. The other area we're looking at, as he mentioned, is we looking at our network across and this is not just Sierra Leone Post, it's the post across the world. We're in the same boat. The strategy is pretty much aligned. Yes, you can tweak it to your own national models a little bit, but overall, this is the way the post is really going. So we're using our network, our footprint across the countries or the world to reinvent ourselves along different products and services. So what we call diversification. So if letter mail is going down or e-commerce is coming, we use our facilities to roll in other services like financial services, like e-government services. So some of you who have actually recently applied for passports, you now know the forms are actually being sold at the post office. So this is part of the things we're trying to actually make government services available at the nearest post office. So instead of actually going to clog administrative buildings, like in the immigration department, you can go in any local post office and obtain the same services. Hopefully, the ministry is working on a national digital strategy. The post office is very much at the heart of that strategy. So we'll try to drive access to e-government services through a postal service, especially people in the rural areas. The other aspect of that is financial services. So if you've been around the post office down Gloucester Street, you'll actually see there's an MOU, an agreement with the central bank, the redenomination exercise. The post office is another hub where you can actually take your old money, exchange it for the new. So the old savings bank is actually being refurbished. So it's there serving that purpose. So hopefully by the time that exercise is actually complete, we'll be able to actually roll out other financial services. So key among those really, well, there's already a proposal from various banks, high street banks, to partner with post office along agency banking. What does agency banking mean? So basically using postal outlets facilities for people to access basic financial services. So you could walk in the post office and get a service that you would actually get in Roker Commercial Bank, Sierra Leone Commercial Bank. So that's the essence of it. So for example, I've been to Moyamba. I went to visit my post office and it was a payday. There's one local Roker Commercial Bank with one window, just one kiosk. On payday, the queue actually starts from here to Brookfield to the petrol station. Just one window to serve in the whole community. So if you have a postal outlet, that same service could be accessed to that. How do we want to do this? We don't really want to do it manually. When he talks about globalization, we want to actually offer these services on a digital platform. Discussions are at an advanced stage on how we actually roll those fintech solutions to advance those services. So really, that's in a nutshell. I'm not laying out a strategy here, but just to give you a brief background of what we're doing, where we actually want to go with the postal services. Now on to the main topic of the day, why we're here. A couple of days ago, we sent out a memo about International Letter Writing Competition to mark the commemoration of this year's World Post Day, which will be on the 9th of October every year. Now, the World Post Day itself was established at the Tokyo Congress in 1969. That's where they actually decided to celebrate the good work for the postal network and postal workers. So they established that day to commemorate the good work they actually do across the world. The union currently stands at 193 member states, single territory, mail territory. So if you send your parcels through Sierra Leone Postal Services to UK, it will be Royal Mail that will deliver to the door. To US, it will be US Postal Services. To China, it will be China Post. Similarly, if you actually post from China Post through China Post, it wouldn't go to DHL, it won't go to UPS, it will come straight to Sierra Leone Postal Services. Why? Because we are one union. We belong to the same territory. We deliver for each other last mile at free of cost. Obviously, we have an internal reconciliation mechanism where if you post more for the other country, there's what we call imbalance. They do the reconciliation and then you give the other sister post office money through the union. So that's the way it works. So if you think the post is dead, I think you have another community ministry. It's working very closely with the institution to formulate policy, legislative instruments to bring the institution back to life to serve the people of Sierra Leone. So those policy instruments are at advanced stage. It will include, and not just the Sierra Leone Postal Services, but the key really is to try and reorganize the entire Korean postal services in Sierra Leone. Because today, we don't even know there's a regulatory act of 2012, but we're not sure about the regulatory body itself. So all of those areas, I think the ministry is actually working seriously to make sure we close those loopholes and we regularize the industry for Sierra Leone to serve the people. Now, on the day itself, the World Post Day, to mark it or commemorate it, we're launching international letter writing competition among school pupils. So we're specifically targeting from, forgive me, I'm a bit old, so I don't know what, I get confused, is it JSS and, yeah, so class 6, that's just NPSC, right? Yeah. So NPSC pupils and up to form 3, yeah, JSS 3, yeah. So that's the essence. The essence is really two strands to that, basically. One, to create civic awareness about the institution at a very early age, so they get to know the essence of the institution as they grow along. And then half the people here will probably ask, when last did you enter your local post office? None. But if you actually capture them at that age, it becomes actually ingrained in them. They know it's an institution, it's there to serve this purpose. I think that should be emulated across most other institutions. And then the other aspect that will also create, if you like, the Ministry of Education is quite interested in the other aspect, which is really to start learning those creative writing skills from a very early age. When I was in primary school, for instance, although I hated it, but there was this thing, this man used to ask you, daily news. So what happened to you on the way to school and on the way home? So you had to present those 2 articles every day. So sometimes there's no event, so you create an event, you imagine something, so that's great. It increases your skills. You won't actually realize that until you are at secondary school or university, and the way you actually flow, the way you write, the way you put your syntax together, it actually improves that. So that's the essence. It's very, very important that we start at that early stage. So it's not really about the money. I know there's a competition, there's a price tag there, 5,000 for first prize, 3,000 and then 1,000, and so on and so forth. But the essence really is not about the money, but actually to, like I say, to get these children at that age to start really getting in the business of actually writing. And then obviously to create visibility and awareness about the institution. So those are the two things. The theme is actually there. It's been publicized, so I think my appeal to you guys, let's try and actually message this out, media, whether print or online as much as possible. It's going to run until the 26th, so that will give time to the invigilators or the markers to make the assessment, and then obviously we'll meet you, we'll call you again and announce the winner of that competition. So I think I'll pause there for now if there are any questions.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for not missing out on the usual Thursday rituals. We appreciate you and we value your contributions. So you have heard from the MD Sal Post. In few words, he is injecting a new lease of life in Sal Post. Before now, every new day was dotted with one form of industrial action, strike action, or the other. Like we say back in school days, since its assumption of office, everything is now yin, right? Quote unquote. So today, I want to talk to you about a few things happening in government. Yesterday, His Excellency, the President, Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Maada Bio, returned home from a very successful inauguration ceremony of Kenya's 5th President, Dr. William Samuel Ruto. I've had mischievous publications all over the place indicating that we crashed into the program, that His Excellency was not invited. And that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. This was not a Sarah, this was not an Aujo where anybody goes whether you are invited or not. This was a state program. Letters have been circulated, but people who love to hate the president have continued to insist, even producing fake alternative letters, saying that is not there. I mean, that is ridiculous to the highest degree. President Bio enjoyed full honors from arrival to all of the ceremonies. In fact, on the morning of our departure yesterday, His Excellency President Ruto had asked to meet with President Bio, but President Bio already had prior commitments in Sierra Leone, so we had to leave in the morning. He enjoyed all the pomp and pageantry that goes with being officially invited and officially recognized at the ceremony. So those naysayers who are canvassing all kinds of opinion are just making a big joke. I'm going to take this opportunity to share a few conversations with the president's henchmen around him, because I have reached out to them and we have been on the go since then. I'm going to share this. I'll read directly. So, this is part of it. The letter that has been going around, the alternative letter about contracts, is a forgery. The deputy president does not get involved in tenders for roads. You must have seen one stupid letter going around. The deputy president of Kenya or anywhere else, as far as I know, does not get involved in the tender for roads, right? So that is completely fake. So let me lay this to rest. President Bio had full presidential protocol, including being assigned security and our permanent representative to UNEP. This is Kenya's permanent representative to the United Nations Environment Program. This is a very high-ranking Kenyan official who was assigned to him as a chaperone. Okay? So, not to your post himself, right? The new government does not have a cabinet right now. So, but this was one of the highest-ranking diplomats assigned to him. That is one of the highest-ranking foreign affairs officials. We don't have a cabinet at the moment due to elections. He was just being sworn in that day. He was announced at the airport, Stadium and State House, where he was welcomed personally by the President and First Lady, signed the visitors' books, and dined with other heads of state. This was not a Sarah, this was not an Aujo where anybody they go. You have to be recognized. And President Bill is a very busy person, by the way. He had to let go other compelling official issues because Kenya is the regional hub in East Africa, and Sierra Leone is already nurturing great ties with Kenya. So it was important I attended that ceremony. The president, that is President William Ruto, according to this handler, the president is particularly excited that the work we did while he was deputy president will now be scaled up, especially around open government and technology. Okay? So this is to let you understand. I mean, look, this is the most abysmal thing I've ever heard of. You saw the videos, right? So, but people simply want to activate mischief mood. My friend is here. He's made it a permanent feature to be on. I'll be on Epic Radio tomorrow morning. Be my guest. Yeah? I'll be talking about these and other issues. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the mark that we have achieved, you know, in international diplomacy and in the eyes of region and neighbors is something we should all be proud of as Sierra Leoneans. Whether you are SLPP, APC, or whatever you are, the achievements we are set to land here has never been so achieved by any Sierra Leonean. The papers have been washed in the last few days with news of His Excellency being co-host of the Transform Education Summit at the United Nations as special guest of the UN Secretary General. No Sierra Leonean president has been so honored in recent times, not even since independence. So President Bio is bringing home laurels unparalleled, unprecedented, and also, you know, as if that is not enough, he's been invited to the Big Boys Club to determine the future of education in the world. Right? So we have to understand these things. There have been several presidents before him. They have tried their bit, but nobody has been able to go that far. So I think we have to commend him for that. We have to support him to bring more laurels home, to bring more glory, more honor, and dignity to our country. Let us not make it a case of a prophet being honored abroad. Let us start honoring him at home. Let us join those of us who are in the choir already. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will be engaging when we return from hunger. This is Sierra Leone's year. This is Sierra Leone's year to shine, like the pastors will say. This is our year to shine, right? Sierra Leone is launching her bid for a non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council this year. The last time we had that feat was in 1971, the year of my birth. This is the best birthday present His Excellency will be giving our country after a 51-year hiatus. Even in region and neighbors, this is the official African Union candidate for that position. And it's been roundly commended, and many other countries around the world have associated with our bid. This is big, you know, our bid for the UN non-permanent seats, you know, which will be launched in coming days in New York. We already did the launching here at the local level, and we really enjoy all Sierra Leoneans to throw their weight behind this bid, because this is an achievement of a lifetime. Solo will take you through the rest of the program. I mean, he can more intimately talk about it. He was at some point the country's chief diplomat, yeah, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Solo, you can run with this. Thank you.
Well, viewers, as soon as hold on, watch and listen. Today we come na the UU building. Also, we can discover the weekly press briefing where normally the Ministry of Information and Communication can hold every Thursday inside the week. Well, today your press updates come out from Mr. Bryan Mccarter, where in the managing director for Salpost, as it don't come inform the public about the operation of Salpost and also waiting at Salpost now some of your activities and also waiting now then plans ahead. Well, me we bring you this program, me na Justice E.M. Tijan. I want to say plenty thank you to my executive producer, Dr. Aisatu Kake Jalo, and to my cameraman, Mohammed Sky Bangora. So till we meet again to another discovery, I want to say peace.